This is the Cafe Racer Podcast, episode 93 for June 24th, 2016. I'm Steven.
And I'm the Stig.
I'm Austin.
That was you were a little slow on the draw there, Austin, and
Yeah,
you got cut off a little bit, but it's
I
good,
think so.
good to be back with you guys. Crash,
What's that?
you mean the Stig? I'm sorry.
The Stig doesn't talk, so this is gonna be a really hard interview.
Yeah, this is really weird. You
I'm
are
not the real Stig, though.
You're
His helmet's different.
That's a
This
pretty,
is kind of a Stig-ish helmet, though, isn't it?
that's a badass helmet. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I like it. It's you're gonna have to. It's the Nex XG100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, yeah, I got this. This is the Touratech version.
Yeah, you've got a Nex helmet on, don't you?
Yeah,
wait,
and let me join the
it's
party. Hold on.
Touratech version of the Nex.
Right.
Yeah.
Here, this is actually kind of what that helmet Austin is wearing came from, but Touratech next built a carbon fiber version for Nex. So
Yeah. The only differences I think they have is that it doesn't have the flip down visor in it, and that's it.
yeah, no, and the front's a little bit different. The venting's a little different on the Touratech, just the way it looks.
Oh,
But yeah,
well, this one, I have the other piece for it because you can pop it off,
right.
and it should come off, so you can change out the different venting. So you should get the solid one like you have.
Yeah.
And then you pop this one back on. This is the off-road screen.
We'll talk about all this
So,
in a second because I want to kind of do an introduction to who you are and what you're doing and where you're at right now. And
Yeah.
Crash has
yeah,
another helmet on, which looks like aircrew actually.
that's the. Everybody keeps calling me Darth Vader.
Right. So
I just did some video stuff with Senna. I put these stickers on here and had him do some drone footage and like follow me through the Touratech rally.
are they there at the rally? Is Tina there?
Yeah, Cena's there.
That's kind of cool.
And then, yeah,
You know that
they've been really cool with me. They've been super awesome. They gave me a little GoPro pack so I can do some videos and footage for them.
yeah, we're actually using 6 of the Prism cameras for the first Ride Up the Divide trip, and
Yeah.
yeah, they're great. You know, I've shot a lot of footage on these things already, and they work really well. But so anyway, let me get to who you are. So my buddy
Right.
Austin's here, and Austin is the founder of Live for Adventure, which is a foundation that raises awareness on depression and PTSD, and he kind of reaches out to firefighters, military, police, and just anybody who's really dealing with PTSD and depression. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how this came about, how you and I know each other, you know, your background, and where you're going with this right now.
Right. Yeah, so it all started from like when I was in medic school, and I just started, I went through, I saw, some bad stuff there, and I was like, that was just medic school. And then you start talking to some of the people in the departments in the service, is that they are, they have their problems too, and sometimes they don't deal with it in the best ways, drinking, whatever. And so my idea was to, and it came from me just because I'd love to do, motorcycle, do a bunch of stuff, and but I just wouldn't have any energy to get off the couch and go do anything. So I was like, so why not create a foundation that helps people get off the couch, get outside, go hike, go scuba dive, go snorkeling. And so that's the Live for Adventure Foundation, what I'm trying to build in a nutshell. And then I met Steve. It's funny, I met him on the Ad Writer forum, and I was just, we started going back and forth, and we started doing this ride. And the first ride we went kind of got screwed and lightning, and then we went and had lunch. And it's funny, I never even thought about being a fire or doing EMS before Steve mentioned something. And so, he said, he's like, well, why don't you go in the fire service and see how you like it and do that. And so I started checking it out, and then right after that, I got my EMT license, got my paramedic. So
Nice.
I wouldn't be doing this foundation, or I wouldn't really be a EMT firefighter if it wasn't for meeting Steve. I gave it a thought before, but really I talked to him, and he kind of put the little tidbit in my mind of maybe that's a good career to go into.
Yeah, that's cool. I wonder if Steve is getting a kickback from Florida's fire service for all the people he convinces to join.
Crash, turn your audio volume
Right.
bad, man. You're like way blowing us away.
Yeah, but the funny thing is,
Go ahead, Austin.
how's mine?
Yours is good. You
Oh
sound.
yeah, the funny. Well, he worked for what, Lauderhill?
Yeah, 30 years with Lauderhill.
Yeah, Lauderhill. Yeah. So it's a smaller department. I mean, the biggest department down there is Palm Beach County. So I don't think he's getting that much of a kickback.
No, I've only probably influenced maybe like 2 people in my entire life to join the fire service, but no, that's it.
Right.
It's a great job. It's not for everybody. Austin kind of fit in really well, and when I first met him, he kind of had that persona of somebody who would do okay, and he liked helping people. So I know him and I have had some long conversations about it, and he's kind of taken a little hiatus to do this Live for Adventure because, once you start working, you're kind of like, especially when you're on probation and a new guy, there's not a lot of opportunities to take off and do what you're doing right now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick,
Exactly.
sound.
Yeah. It's funny what I just passed. I just spent 2 1-year program just because I kept messing up with depression and not putting my all into it, and kind of being my own worst enemy. That's what depression does to you, and so that's why I did this. But I literally finished a month ago, and then passed my national registry test 3 weeks ago, and then now I'm on now I'm up in Leavenworth, Washington at the Tortec rally.
Leavenworth is such a beautiful, beautiful city.
Yeah, it's literally it's like a German town in the middle of nowhere. I came in here, and the first time I've ever been up here in Washington, really hung out, and I drove through this, and it was raining, drizzling. I was like, I literally felt like I was in the middle of Germany. I was like, did I just get transported here? It's a beautiful place. If
So you're
if
not.
you ever been there,
You're not actually at the rally grounds right now. You're in town.
I know. I'm in Leavenworth right now. I'm sitting on my bike.
But that's not. But that's not where is the rally taking place though? Is the rally at?
The route. Sorry, some chick told me nice bike. It's up north in Plains, Washington, about 30 minutes north. So I got some GoPro footage I'm going to put online of the ride from the rally to Leavenworth. So it's north about 30 minutes, but it's a really beautiful ride up the canyon.
Now that you said where you were, I recognize exactly what's behind you.
You know the area, Crash?
Yeah,
What's that behind it?
I've stopped in Leavenworth for lunch on a couple motorcycle trips.
Yeah, I'm right outside the Icicle Brewing Company, so I'm slurring my speech. Just kidding.
Did you, if you like sausage, there's a place called Cured or something like that, right there in that little shopping area that's really good. All the best foods are shaped like dicks.
If you like sausage.
I think all right, so here's what let me. We should have Spencer on in a minute. I know he was trying to get a burger, but let me.
I finished doing that.
I got some people that are trying to get in Q&A right now, which is weird. They can't find the show. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess while we kind of do so, I'll talk a little bit about these helmets that just showed up.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so Steve was kind enough to get in contact with he's the director of Next North America, right?
Actually, the president of Next North America, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the president of Next North America, I had heard of Next helmets. I knew that they made that Touratech one, or they made one in conjunction with Touratech. But that was about it. That's all I really knew about them.
I never heard of Next until I saw the Touratech and then found out that they made that helmet.
Yeah.
And
A little
I
background.
love it. That's a great helmet.
Yeah, they're a Portuguese company, and they've been making helmets for the European market for a really long time. When they first entered the U.S. market, they had an independent company doing some distribution for them that kind of like died, and they didn't really do anything. And so Next Corporate took it back, and that's how we now have the, Next North America is not an independent distributor. It's part of the Next proper out of Portugal, and they sent the guy that I met from Portugal here to the U.S. and so now they're doing their business directly in the United States. So go ahead and continue on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Steve, you got
helmet.
a couple helmets, and you sent two of them my way. One of them, the one that I was wearing at the beginning of the show, is the XG100. It's a sort of retro full face. This little visor, it's got like the 3-snap thing on top, so you could put anything that'll fit that system on it. And so it comes with like a little black visor. And then the actual face shield, it just held on with snaps as well. And I was really impressed, because like I'm used to open face helmets or flip face helmets that have a big old hinge. And I was really impressed with how well this one seals out everything. It's way quieter than I expected it to be. It's a lot more stable in the air than I expected it to be. And it's hard to tell in the video.
With riding it.
Yeah.
With the peak, I know riding it with the peak off definitely cuts down, because what happens is it tumbles. The buffeting gets under the lid.
Yeah.
And it just tumbles and kind of creates more weight. So if you take it off, it flows over the head. So it's a little bit quieter with the peak off.
Yeah.
But it's a great. Yeah, I have zero complaints about this helmet, and I rode it literally from Monday. Monday I left Arizona, Sedona, rode up to Park City, and then left Park City, rode up to Boise, and then left Boise and rode up to Plains, Washington. So 11 hours, 5 hours, and 7 hours with this helmet on already, and I love it. I have zero complaints.
That's good. That's a solid ride. Initially when I put this one on it,
and I lost a hard drive.
Yeah.
It killed one of my hard drives driving up from the Arizona. I think that heat got up to 104 degrees, and the vibrations just killed the hard drive. So I got in there and just started making noises and clicking. So I lost probably half of my GoPro footage that I had shot before I even left Florida.
That is a serious bummer. That's an argument for solid state drives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I didn't want to. I know I sent something. I felt bad because I sent you like a link on Instagram or Facebook about something that somebody told me a little bit about. If it doesn't, there's Spencer. Cool. If it doesn't exist in two places, it doesn't exist. So one of the things we're doing right up the divide is we're not taking any mechanical hard drives with us. We're taking everything on SD cards. And we're going to be shipping SD cards out to somebody to have them dump off. There's a company called Narbox that make a solid state. It's kind of a little device that allows you to dump off of a card onto a drive. And Western Digital makes it too. But anytime you talk about solid state media, they're really pricey. The Western Digital one is not solid state. It's electric. Or it's a mechanical. It's a 3 terabyte drive. It's like $300. But I don't want to take any chances with this. And hopefully, when we send these SD cards out, we'll have somebody who's going to be dumping them off and sending them fresh cards back to us, but at the same time, they're going to be backing up all that media, the audio and the video too. It's really a shame, Austin, that
Yeah,
you
that's
lost
what
all.
that's what
You
Spencer
know?
was saying. Yeah, it's all right. And I can always get it back. It's just another part of the story. So, but I ordered 2 solid state drives off of Amazon, and I got to go pick them up. But I messed up, and the lady on UPS gave me the address, and I thought I wrote it down on my computer, and I didn't. So it's really me, and now I have to figure out where the hard drives are. Go pick them up. But
Well,
you know what? I was thinking about that too with those SD cards. I was looking on Amazon, like they got like 128 gigabyte SD cards, and they're only like $40. Like it's not much different than buying some solid state drives.
The problem is you got to really look at what class that card is and what the upload and write speed is on those cards. Because sometimes the other thing too is some of the cameras, like we're almost 100% positive that the Vita Prism will only work with a 32 gig card. It won't work with anything larger than that. So you
Yeah,
gotta
it's
be
a
really
32.
careful.
Have you guys tried it out, or is it just
I stayed away from those
You
large.
there?
Spencer, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from those large cards because, for one, now you've just got a lot more data on a card that you're more likely to corrupt, or if you lose that card, you're going to lose, 4 times what you had on a 32
So
gig.
much.
So
Right.
it's just kind of.
I think I got the biggest one I have. Everything else in my GoPros is 32, but the biggest one is, or no, my camera's got a 32, and then my GoPros all have 64 gigs. But I unload them every night. I get into my tent. I take my zero thing out, and I take my computer out, and I unload all my cards onto my hard drive. So
Yeah, we're not bringing any computers
And
with
just-
us. We don't really have the room, and we're not. We're going to be using like a multitude of cameras, but besides the Prisms, we'll have some cameras that are like DSLRs and some stuff that's shooting really high-end audio that's real compact, like this little Zoom 8 thing that Crash and I use for interviews
yeah.
when we go remote and stuff. But
Yeah, I got I left it at the camp, but I think it's is it the Tascam 99 or whatever, the MO whatever. It's kind of like the Zoom, high quality I got. But I have a whole bunch. I literally have like a production company in one of my panniers, and it's just it is a lot of weight. I probably have like 150, 200 pounds worth of gear with me.
well, let me ask you a
Kinda
question.
think it's
That brings me
up
to a really good question. Did you check what your gross vehicle weight restriction is, and have you weighed your bike and your gear, or did you just pack it?
My gross weight restricted is 1,000 pounds. So, I mean, that's the bike, which the bike weighs 500, like fully loaded, right? So, and then I weigh 230. I mean, that's the easiest to lose weight is me to lose weight. And then all my gear. I mean, there's no way with all that. It's 100 with the extra with maybe. I don't know. It might be like close to the maximum allowable weight, but not too bad. But I literally am loaded down. It's crazy.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I weighed the bike with racks, without the panniers on, but with the racks and a full tank of gas. The bike came in at 580 pounds. And then I weighed the bike again with me and all my gear on there, including the riding gear. So I'm adding in for that because the boots are heavy, the jacket's heavy, the helmet's got weight to it. And then what I did was I loaded up the bike, I loaded the panniers, and I pulled each one of the bags off and weighed the bag and myself. Knowing my known weight without any gear on, then I subtracted the weight of myself from that total weight and got the weight of the bag. And the bags are running about 22, 23 pounds. So
Yeah.
I figured on top of everything, I've got an extra 60 to 80 pounds of gear with the cameras. And I'm still going to be under the gross vehicle weight because mine's a little over 1,000 pounds too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bike
maybe,
looks
but
good. Did you
Go ahead. Hold on.
ship that
Hold on
bike
one
today,
second.
Steve?
Go ahead, Spencer. Go.
I was just saying, did you ship the bike today?
Yeah, I actually dropped it off this morning, and I took some pictures and put it on the Instagram page. But that was kind of weird. You know, I filmed it, and it was like the bike started the trip without me. You know, so
You had like a send off for the bike.
yeah, I kind of feel like I'm on the trip. Like I already started the trip. I feel really weird about it. But luckily, tomorrow I'll go back over to the dealership, grab my other tire that they're going to take off, and I've got to leave a check for the shipper. So the bike's actually getting picked up by the shipper on Monday.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully I didn't forget anything. I don't think so.
I didn't know strippers took checks.
Yeah, no, not a stripper, the shipper, not the stripper.
That's why I thought. I was like, did you say stripper or stripper?
Strippers in South Florida do take checks, though. It's not really
I
common.
think you know what they have? They have the swipe. You know the little card reader on their iPhones now.
Right, they carry it in their bra.
Florida is very progressive when it comes to strip clubs. Yeah.
So both of you guys are at the TourTech rally. Spencer, where exactly are you right now?
I am in the little town of Leavenworth. I just rolled in here. I just came off of a ride like 15 minutes ago.
Spencer's actually in the same town you are, Austin. Austin's in Leavenworth too.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in Leavenworth.
He's in front of some sort of looks like a German kind of place.
Well, that's not
That
very
doesn't
descriptive because this whole town
Everything
has like
looks
a
German.
Bavarian theme to it.
Right.
So
Did you say the whole town has Bavarian cream in it?
Brewing company is?
I wish.
Sounds delicious.
How big is this town? Are you guys like standing across the street from each other or not?
No,
I
mean
think I heard him. I don't know.
there's no
Funny,
way.
it's on
I'm
the
down
corner
at
from
the
me.
end of town. The main drag's probably like 3 miles long, 2 miles long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a McDonald's,
Yeah,
there's
I'm right.
a Starbucks, but it's all got to be themed, like Germany.
Yeah, the
so
Starbucks and the McDonald's both look like they fit right in with everything else.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Where if I like keep doing the interview and then like drive around on my bike trying to find Spencer?
Yeah, you can do that. It won't hurt anything. We might lose you for a second, but it won't be a bad. Hey, so Spencer, did you get a chance? How far did you guys ride today?
We did 60 miles. Me and a buddy, Chris Hunt, and 2 other friends of ours that we were camping with. We didn't want to do one of the group rides, but we wanted to do the routes. So we just kind of took off, and then we ended up hitting like the gnarliest parts of the routes that you could hit, and it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of very interesting single track.
You're not gonna break anything on the bike, right? So.
No, Dad, I'm being very careful.
Because we're leaving in a couple weeks, so.
I know, and I keep telling myself, I'm like, I'm gonna be careful, I'm not gonna break anything. But then I was talking with another buddy that I'm here camping with, and he's got a 990, and I was kind of joking, and I was like, yeah, so I can't break anything, man. And Robbie's like, yeah, because then you'd have to ride this 990 that I'm trying to sell right now. And I'm like, what? He's like, oh yeah, you can totally take that. And I'm like, I might have to break my 690 now.
Dude, I was in the dealership this morning drooling over a Husky 701. I didn't realize how cool that bike is. I mean, I guess it's the same bike as the 690. Maybe
It is. It's exactly the same bike. The same thing with the 501. Because Husky got bought out by KTM.
Husky got bought out by the president of KTM.
Yeah, he bought it personally.
Yeah.
It happened.
What?
Yeah.
It wasn't KTM proper, KTM corporate. It was the president of KTM bought Husqvarna.
Mm-hmm.
Husqvarna, if you really want to pronounce it like they do. But,
Gotta
That's
be
balling
awesome
out of
to-
control, dude.
huh?
Be at one point in your life, you just, you know what, I feel like buying today, a KTM motorcycle manufacturer.
Man, that 701 looks fantastic. Like, it is beautiful.
There's a couple of them here at the
I got
rally.
this thing,
Austin, we're losing you, man.
I
You're
got this thing on the back of my bike.
really bad.
Am I?
Your audio is really bad. We're losing you. You know that I think part of the issue with that bike, why it looks different, it might just be an optical illusion because it is white. But it looks to me like it was thinner than a 690. But it's the same exact bike all the way across.
Yeah, I mean it's the same frame and everything.
They also had 6 days there too, which is pretty cool.
Has the what?
Yeah, I like the 6 days.
The 6 days. I think it
Oh,
was
yeah.
the
The
350.
50.
No, it was the 350 version of it, the smaller one. They make
They
two
have a
versions of
350
it.
and a 500. Yeah, 350 and the 500. And
Yeah.
yeah. The only thing I would do is take the stickers
I
off.
rode
Germany,
I rode the
6
500
days, 6
EXC the other day. It was a lot of fun.
Here at the rally, where did you get a chance to ride that at?
My buddy Jesse, he has one.
Yeah.
And so we were just working on it in my garage, messing around, and I went and took it out for a rip around the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a cool bike, man. That thing is really neat.
Yeah, a lot of Africa Twins here. Everybody's drooling over the Africa Twins.
Oh, I bet.
Spencer, see if you can turn so you don't get as much wind.
I'll go stand up against this building here.
Okay.
Go stand in the lee of something.
Yeah, because the wind is really, really loud.
Hey, Spencer, when you came out of the Tortec rally and you got into Leavenworth, did you take a left or a right off of the highway? Onto
I
the
took
highway?
a right and headed back towards Seattle. I'm at the end of town, right before you head out towards Seattle on Highway 2.
Oh, you're like up by the McDonald's.
Opposite end.
Oh. Okay.
Let me see if I can find
I'm at the Heidelberger, which is the
Oh.
sort of the local McDonald's, I guess.
All right, good. So you're now no longer in the wind, and it sounds a lot better because it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had no windsock on your phone, so it was killing a little
So
bit.
now
I
I'm
didn't
literally
bring
driving
my
around
windsock with me.
Leavenworth trying to find Spencer.
All right, so let me give you guys a break for a second. I want Crash to finish on these helmets that we got. From,
Sure.
We got, just to give you a brief background, we were talking about it a second ago. Next sent us the show 3 helmets. They sent us an XD1 and 2 that Crash have, and they're actually sponsoring the ride as well with the XD1. Talk about what you got, and I really dig that one that's a full face.
Yeah. So we were talking about the full face one a little bit. Again, like I said, it's got the little 3-snap thingy on top, so you can put like a bubble shield on it or whatever if you wanted to. The actual face shield part is tinted and snaps on with snaps on the side, which surprisingly easy to find with gloves on, like no issues. I rode it to work. I rode in it to work one day, and I have to pull I have to pop the visor off so that I can show my ID and actually let them see my face. And there was no issues. It was real quick. It was way quieter, more comfortable than I kind of expected it to be. The only issue was this one, I've got kind of a longer, not like a long oval head, but more of an oval head than a round head. And this one was a little tight. I kind of smushed some stuff down inside, made it fit my head a little better, and it seems like everything's going to be good. I think it's going to replace my Cali helmet as my full face helmet of choice. The bottom. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the line, for the price point that helmet's at, it's got a really nice liner. It's got a really good looking brown, like microfibery kind of liner. This is probably synthetic leather, but it goes all the way around. The only issue I have with that is that there's no gap between the bottom of the liner and the little lip around the bottom of the helmet. There doesn't seem to be it's stitched together right there. Mm-hmm.
So you can't shove the clamp mount for like a Sena Bluetooth unit up in there because there's stitching in the way. If you have a sticky mount, it'll stick right on and you're fine. But I didn't have an extra sticky mount, so I was like, damn them, now I gotta get another one.
I'll try to send you one. I'm gonna dig through
Yeah.
and see what I got.
It's got a cool, if it's hard to see inside. Okay, yeah. So if you're looking inside, there's like a little houndstooth pattern in there or herringbone pattern or some crap. I don't know. I'm not a chick. But like a black and white checkery kind of deal that looks pretty cool. I wasn't sure how I felt about the black little snap-on visor thingy at first. My wife is convinced it looks better with it on. I now that I kind of saw it in the video for the show when I put it on at the beginning, I think I agree. I think it looks good. Yeah, it's really clean. Oh, and this white, it's not just a plain old golf ball white. It's impossible to see on the video, but it's got a pearly sheen to it. So if you look real closely, you can see like little flecks of things in there, and it gives it kind of a pearly look to it. So I'm really impressed.
Okay, what's the name of that one again?
That's the Nex XG100.
XG100. I think they call that the Garage, right? And that's
Yeah.
one we got is a plain white. There's no graphic. They do a bunch of other ones that are in graphic that are kind of a specific graphic.
Right.
And then the next one is kind of, I call it the scooter helmet, but
Yeah, this is totally this. If I had a Vespa, I would wear this day. Like, it is really cool if you ride like a little scooter or something, or even on a motorcycle it'd probably be okay, but it's definitely not your like full face protective sport bikey kind of helmet for sure. It's an open face. It's not really a half. I wouldn't call it a half helmet, but I wouldn't call it a 3/4 face either. I would. It's like I said. It's like you said. It's kind of a scooter helmet. Like, it comes down a little bit on the sides and covers your ears. It does not fit my head, and because we have planned on giving this one away in a contest of some kind, I don't want to make it fit my head.
right.
So I put it on. It doesn't quite fit, but it's got the flip-down sun visor. It's got this brown stripe across the top is that same synthetic leather that's on like all around the outside of this one and underneath the bottom of the other helmet I just showed you. And this one, it does not appear to be stitched to the side, so you could, I think, fit a little clamp from a Sena or something up there, and if not, you could definitely go with the sticky mount. The visor's pretty cool, or the whatever you want to call it, the face part, the face shield.
Yeah.
It's got this pretty neat little, like, really well detailed little armature that holds it in place, and it feels really positive when it flips down. And it looks good together. Like, it's got these big, kind of like really big skin, like shallow Phillips head looking connector on the screw that holds it on the side. And it's got a little chin strap pad.
Yeah.
It's got that micro lock type connector like a lot of European helmets have. And so instead of having the double D-ring where you have to thread it back and forth.
Which is kind of interesting because that's the lower priced helmet too that came with that, and the ones we have are just double D-rings.
Right, yeah. I go back and forth about which one of those I prefer. Like, the double D-ring is nice, especially when I'm wearing different stuff during the winter and I've got like different stuff on my head, like a balaclava or something, where the adjustment is going to be a little bit different because my face is fatter because there's stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can just snug it down, and it adjusts to my face every time I put it on. I think it's called the micro lock or whatever it's called, connector, little ratchet one, is really handy because you can just zip it with one hand. You just get it up there and squeeze it, and it just zips together. But you have to go through sort of the process of adjusting it correctly before you put it on, and leave it on. The finish on these things is fantastic. Like, these little buckles that hold the strap are like really nice looking. They're rounded off. They're not like a super hard edge. You know what I mean? Like the D rings on a lot of cheaper helmets have like they're rough and not really well like filed down.
Right.
The D rings on this one, on the XG100, are nice and smooth and easy to feel even with gloves on. And the padding, the under chin pad, that goes between the strap and your face, there's plenty of it. It's not like there's not any sort of lack there, so you've got plenty of padding underneath the strap, so you're not just feeling the bare strap against your chin.
Almost has a little bit of an overlap.
It does. On my face, it does have an overlap.
So let me go over the XD1 real quick, because I did a quick unboxing video of it.
Yeah.
But like Austin was saying, this is the one that they made kind of for Touratech, but this is their adventure style helmet, and it's not a carbon helmet, but it's light compared to some of the other helmets I've got. I don't remember the weight. The Sena unit is clamped, so and when you clamp it, you get a little bit of a bulge in the liner here, but it's clamped and it does a really good job of holding it. Now they actually make a comm system for this made by Sena for Nex that fits inside behind where I've got the comm mounted. There's a little plate that comes off, and they give you an adapter for their comm system. And it's kind of like the guts of I think it's the 10R, the one that's got the remote battery pack. So that one actually there's a spot here in the back of the helmet where the neck roll is that fits the battery. Is that Crash on the Sena, the one that's got the remote battery? That's a 10R, right?
Yeah, I think so.
10R, yeah.
The one that has like the little control panel and the remote battery in the back.
Yeah, what I was saying is Sena makes a version of that for this helmet for Nex that fits in an indentation and like a little piece inside here. But
Oh, nice.
I wanted to use the 20S. And then here's the other really cool thing too, is you see these plates right here on the side?
I do.
These plates come off and they actually give you a complete set of plates that are flat for mounting a camera. And this is what I have on this side. So
Nice.
I got a prism mounted on here that has the stick-on mount right on this flat plate. And also, they got one for the top.
That was very smartly done.
It's really kind of innovative, and you don't have to buy anything extra because all this stuff comes with the helmet. Like Austin was saying too, this front piece here, the vent.
Yeah.
This pops out, and you get one that's open.
Yeah, like a grating, like a mesh.
Right. And then on top of all that, you get a little bit of time to figure out what this thing that came in the package was, but you get it's what it is. It's a.
Let me see if I can figure it out. What is it? What does it look like?
I'll tell you what it looks like, and you tell me what it is. What is this weird shaped square on one end, round on the other thing? I thought
that's a cloth too. It's a visor bag.
Yeah, I thought it was a hand puppet, but it's not. It's a visor bag.
Yeah.
The
You
reason,
can have two visors and keep a dark one and a clear one.
well, the reason that they have it like this too is it's designed so that you can, when you fit this thing in here, it covers on this end, seals it in place, but it's got a pocket down here for all these extra accessories that they have.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, here's a bag with all the extra accessories. They've got plates in here, cover plates, so that if you want to run a set of goggles, and you want to take the visor completely off, you've got covers for that. If you take the
So it covers up the hardware.
Yeah, that's really kind of cool. And on top of that, you get a full set of adjustment pieces for the inside, for the liner. So you can make the liner a little larger if you need to.
Yeah, I got those with the full face that came as well. They call it something like Ergo Fit or something. I've got them right here actually. Ergo padding system.
So
I use those for packing the ear holes to get the Sena speakers a little bit closer to my ears.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a really great idea. You know,
Yeah.
Sena sells, and that's the other thing too about the particular helmet is it's already got channels for the wires for the Sena mic. So the mic's got its own place that fits in, and the speakers have little spots in there. So for value, for what you're paying, bang for the buck, it's a great helmet. It's super comfortable. I've noticed the same thing that Austin has about the comfort level of it. It's an all-day helmet for me without a problem. And I got to tell you, so far, in the adventure-style helmets, the ones that I've worn, and I'm really looking forward to also trying the Schuberth, but in all the ones I've worn, this one's been the most comfortable.
Yeah.
I got this weird little bump
tight
on. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's tight at first, and you think, oh, I need another one, but then it packs out a little bit, so it gets comfy. Only problem that I felt is that in long rides, like that 11-hour one I did, my ears started going numb from just the rubbing. But I mean, you get that with any helmet.
I was gonna say, you spend 11 hours in a helmet, you're bound to have something happen no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got this strange little, when I don't know if it's because I fell and hit the back of my head when I was a kid, but I've got this little knot on the back of my head that makes certain helmets really uncomfortable. I have to find where in the helmet that it's hitting it and just smash the liner down a little bit right there. and then it like fits, and if I have it right, fits. I feels great. But if I don't have it right, it's like something that's constantly pushing in the back of my head.
My problem was always my forehead. You know, like most helmets that I tried, there would be a lot of rubbing of the EPS on my forehead, especially anything that was a round shape, like Nolan's and things like that. And I used to have to kind of, and you know, I know you're not supposed to modify the EPS, but I'd have to smush it down a little bit to get it to work right for me.
Yeah. So I got one other thing actually in the mail just the other day. We talked a little bit about the Revit jacket I got recently.
Right.
And I'll talk, you know, I'll review that more. I'm gonna sit down and write something about all this stuff as well, and you know, post pictures and stuff. But I had also ordered a pair of their jeans. They have a new for 2016 jean out called the Seattle jean, and it's got their new Sea Soft, their new Sea Soft armor in the knees, which is super flexible. But it's made out of a different. It's not silicone like the one that's in the Dainese pants I have. It's made of some other material that's their like proprietary thing. What's that?
Not D3O, is it?
No, it's something else completely.
Okay.
If anybody's watching, they go back and look at the interview that we did with Tracy Motz from AIM Expo. She has a piece of it out, and she talks about it a little bit, and she shows off some of the jackets and stuff that have it in it. Well, I got these jeans, and they're the skinniest jeans I've ever worn in my life. But they're not bad. Like, I say that, but I mean, I'm standing here, or I'm sitting here in like super relaxed fit 5'11" cargo pants. I'm not really a super skinny jeans kind of guy. Like straight leg jeans is good. These are a little tapered. They are kind of tight, but the fit is great. They're sold just like regular jeans, you know, like 30, 34, 32, 34, whatever.
Riding position though, are they uncomfortable because they're tight?
No, I felt a little bit of bunching behind my knees,
Mm-hmm.
but it was also 90 degrees out that day that I was riding in them. In the less sweltering heat, I think they're fine. Like I rode in them in the morning and felt fine. It wasn't until I started to get sweaty that I started to have any problems with comfort. They felt a little low in the back around, like, you know, like they were sliding down my butt a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I put that Revit jacket on that has the little belt loop that clips down around your belt loops.
Right.
And these actually have two belt loops right in the center on the back. So I hooked a little elastic strap through both of them and then back to the jacket, and everything felt great after that. I didn't feel like there was any problems, and it wasn't uncomfortable. And when I got where I was going, I just reached back and unsnapped it with one hand and was on my way.
The thing about Revit is, and you know, we've talked about this, is because of the way they're cut, the European cut, they don't make anything that fits me.
Right, these would not.
No, nothing. I don't think they even make a size. Like the jackets I've worn are uncomfortably tight. You know, even in what's supposed to be my size, it's just not. Now that Dutch company Magna, the one that Twisted Throttle, produced that, I was really surprised at how well that stuff fits me. I have one of their chilly jackets that's a ventilated jacket, and it fits great, and it's really comfortable, and it's kind of a slim cut, but you know how big I am, and I got a gut on me, and the thing fits me fine.
Yeah.
So I like that they've opened up their line a little bit for more of a larger person or more of an American cut, where Revit, you know, Revit makes some great stuff, and I like it. It just doesn't fit me, which unfortunately is my fault, not their fault, you know. But hey, awesome. Now your mic's muted. Are you heading over to Starbucks by any chance? That's where Spencer's going. That's where Spencer is right now at Starbucks because he had no Wi-Fi.
Sounds like a typical adventure rider just sitting at Starbucks with his ADV bike.
Yeah, that's right.
Starbucks.
Okay, yeah, you guys are together. How many adventure bikes are parked out in front of Starbucks right now? Can you guys point your phone over and let me see how many adventure bikes are parked in front of Starbucks?
Only 3.
Really?
I feel like kind of a typical BMW owner says my BMW is parked outside of the Starbucks right now.
That's awesome. All right, so the TurboTech Rally, you guys are both there. It's going good. What do you guys, Spencer? What do you have planned tomorrow at the TurboTech Rally? What are you doing specifically?
I think I am doing some riding and Oshi type of stuff.
Okay. Your Wi-Fi is like, these guys are having a hard time. They're in the middle of nowhere. His wife. Hopefully.
Oh, if they're on the same Wi-Fi, they're just both like kicking Starbucks Wi-Fi in the balls.
Yeah, right.
Starbucks Wi-Fi is like, what is all this data? I don't know what to do with it.
I'm not even on the Starbucks Wi-Fi. I think it kicked me off. It's like, you're using too much.
Probably. They're kind of cheap about their data. Well, anyway, so getting back to Crash, what I listened to the show from was last. Spencer said he just sent me a text that he gave up. It's no big deal. That's okay. Tell him I'm all right with that. Austin, we'll catch up with him later.
He said it's all right. You catch the show with you later.
So you listen to the Crash and Jess show.
Yeah, the Crash and Jess show, and I heard about the bike search thing, and I kind of, I never even really thought about the TW200 on the highway, and it makes a lot of sense with the, something like the GS. That would be great for her, and you could probably fit her a lot better too.
Yeah, size-wise, I think either bike size is the size of the bike would be fine. There's a handful of bikes I've kind of gotten in the back of my mind. All that's kind of on hold at the moment. We were talking about, once we sell the house, we would buy a bike, and just yesterday the sale of the house fell through, so
right.
So we're back on the market. Over the past couple days, I've been increasingly irate with various things in my life, mostly the house and the people that were trying to buy it. So it's probably good I didn't have a phone number to reach the person that decided not to buy my house.
Right.
Because I would have tried to cram every curse word I could in before they hung up on me.
How you feel?
Yeah. So we're just kind of in a holding pattern right now, as far as that goes, and at this point, the main goal is to try to just get the house sold before we have to put kids in school somewhere, so we don't have to move them to a different school, right at the beginning of the year if we can help it. So I don't really care if I walk away from the house with nothing. Just want to be out of it.
Right. And that's kind of a drag when you thought it was going to be done, and then all of a sudden everything changes. But hopefully, the next, I know you told me you had an open house coming up. That'll work out. So now I was going to tell you too that I've got no longer have the adventure bike here to obsess over. Tomorrow I'm gonna pull the starter off the Guzzi and see if I can get it running, because I really want to start riding that bike again.
Nice. I've actually done a lot of work on the Bonneville over the last few weeks too.
Yeah, I've been kind of following along. I like the turn signals came out great. It looks cool.
Thanks. One other thing, I don't think we talked about it on the show that I did recently, because I think I did it after the show. Triumph Bonnevilles have this really bad habit of their rear brake caliper getting all crappy and kind of seizing up.
Mm-hmm.
And the prevailing wisdom on the forum is every couple of months, pull it off, clean it out real good, and lubricate all the sliding, moving parts and put it all back together. And I hadn't done that in probably about 3 years. So to say that I was overdue is a bit of an understatement. Well, since I replaced front brake components, or cleaned up front brake stuff anyway, I was like, all right, let me go back there and take a look at the rear, and my rear pad was basically gone. My rear pads were gone, and my disc was weirdly tapered, at the base of the disc where it closer to the bolts was super narrow and thin, and then it kind of widened out towards the top. To the point that I couldn't even really get a caliper on it to accurately measure the width, but I knew it was skinnier than it's supposed to be.
It's easy to replace that, the disc.
Yeah, I did. I went, I ordered a replacement disc and replacement pads, and I was worried that the pistons for my caliper were corroded to the point that I'd need to replace them, but got them out all the way with Jess's help, because I'm used to doing that kind of thing with compressed air. I didn't have anything. I don't have a compressor. I've only ever done that in somebody else's shop. So we ended up using a bicycle pump, and like I'm sitting there like with my hand inside the caliper catching the pistons, and she's pumping on the bike pump, and I'm holding down my thumb over like the bleed plug hole to keep air from coming out. It was just like it was just like 4-person operation that we did, or like 4-hand operation we did. Got them out. And I used like a really fine sandpaper and cleaned them up, and I think everything is going to be okay. But the bike gets way better gas mileage now. Now that the rear brake isn't seized up.
Dragging on it, right?
Yeah, I was driving. I've been noticing lately that my gas mileage is down around like 30 to 35 miles an hour, and I'm used to 40 to 45. The last time I filled up, I was getting about 40. So it seems like things are better now.
Difference. Hey Spencer, Austin, can you get back on? Unmute your mic. You should be able to.
Is that better?
Yeah, perfect. So tell everyone where they can find you if they want to follow along with the adventure and help the foundation. I know you got a website, but I'm gonna let you tell them all your locations where you're at.
Yeah, the websites and all that, it's all work in progress. I mean, I got them up and running. So one of them, the foundation, is live4adv.com, live4adv.com. And that's for the foundation. That's where all that will go, and for information for that. And then there's a link to the ride that I'm doing on there. In the top, it says Ride from the Dark, and that's just ridefromthedark.com. And that's where you'll find posting on there. Like WordPress is weird, so I can't embed the spot map, so it won't automatically do it. So I'm gonna have to manually update my location every day with Google Maps. So I've been doing that. And you can check out the bike and all the gear I have, and I'll just be updating and blogging on there. And then also on Instagram under live_4_ADV, and then Facebook is Live for Adventure, and you should find it. There's pictures of me and my bike, or there's a picture of my helmet on the website, and Facebook and all that, so it should be relatively easy if you see my helmet, which is that helmet right there, the Gore-Tex, the car helmet. You should be able to tell if it's my site or whatever.
Okay, so and I'll also put the links in the show notes too. So if you're listening to the podcast, you can go to the show notes and you'll have links for all Austin's sites there, and check it out. And especially if you're a family member of somebody who's served or is dealing with PTSD or just dealing with depression in general, the idea about there's no stigma to it. Don't let them sit around. Get them out. If you ride or if you snowboard, ski, wakeboard, anything that you're doing, kayaking, call somebody up and invite them along. Just kind of keep them involved, and that's the whole idea behind this, right, Austin? It's not a replacement for therapy or medication. It's just another tool to help people get along.
I mean, at some point, like when I get a little bit bigger, I feel like I'll be able to, if I get enough donations, I can hire a therapist that will go along with the whole thing, and so they can talk to them too. Try to help people out that either don't have insurance. I mean, that's a lot of the biggest thing is, some people that have depression, they don't, in that on Ad Rider, I put this whole the statistics of depression in this country. It's like it's astronomical, and I think 50% of people don't seek treatment, and because either they're scared of what they might find, or they just don't have insurance or the means to do so. So yeah, but right now, I mean, I don't want to say don't stop your meds, don't stop going to therapy. If it helps, it helps. This is just another tool to add to your toolbox in order to help you get from where you are to a better. That's pretty much what it is.
Okay, cool. All right, listen, Crash, you got anything else? We've been a little bit right around an hour, maybe a little bit over, and
No, I just want to thank everybody who supports us on Patreon. It's the best way to help keep interesting things happening on our show beyond just the dumb crap I find myself fixing on my motorcycle. I'm actually trying to pull up the creator page on Patreon so I can thank people.
It really helps us a lot because we do have expenses that we cover, and we got stickers, and we're paying for our bandwidth and our hosting and everything. And if you like the show, definitely go on iTunes and give us a review. If you don't like the show, go on iTunes and give us a review. But we're at Cafe Racer Podcast on iTunes. We're easy to find. On Facebook, look for Cafe Racer Podcast. On Instagram, we're Cafe Racer Pod, right? Or is that on Twitter?
Twitter is Cafe Racer Pod.
Twitter's Cafe Racer Pod. You can follow along with what Spencer's doing in San Diego, I'm doing in Florida, and my final days towards leaving for First Ride Up the Divide. Just if you've never heard of that, a brief synopsis. I'm going with Spencer Hill and 3 other guys, and we're taking 2 guys that have never ridden motorcycles before, and we are taking them up the Continental Divide from Antelope Wells, New Mexico to Rooseville, Montana. The majority of it up the Great Continental Divide Trail route, which is a bicycle trail. So that's what we're doing. You want to give a quick shout out there, Crash, to some thank yous?
I'm having a lot of technical difficulties over here. It's kind of killing me over here. The internet is not my friend today.
Austin, thanks for coming on with us. I know it's been a challenge for you and Spencer with the bandwidth there, and just the fact that you guys are in a kind of remote location. So.
Yeah, but I mean that speaks a lot to the technology fact that I'm in the middle of nowhere in Washington. I'm able to do this. So.
Right.
Well, we have. It's pretty good. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and I'd love to come on again and talk again. It's pretty cool.
Well, hopefully when you're up in Alaska, we'll be able to.
Even the Stig.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to catch up with you in Alaska, and maybe I'll see you toward the end of July in Montana. Did you talk to Spencer at all about that?
No, he's in Starbucks right now. But once he comes out, I'll give him I'll talk to him because I only talked to him for a little bit this morning before he went on that ride of his. So I was gonna catch up with him now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I have names finally.
Go ahead.
All right, so quick shout out to Andrew, James, Chris, Jay, Ryan, Travis, and that's it. The other 2 are the other 2 people on the show. So, yeah, thanks everybody that supports us on Patreon. If you want to help out, you can visit our CafeRacerPodcast.com, and there's a support the show button, or just go to Patreon.com and search for Cafe Racer Podcast or Crash, or my actual name, Chris Ashmore. You can find it any one of those ways.
That's all I got, man.
All right, get out there and ride.
See ya.
Well, once we get the bike fixed.
See ya.